Namaste dosto, welcome to today's masterclass. Let me ask you something. Have you ever lost a business opportunity because of delayed bank loan? Or have you ever felt that documents, visits, signatures just eat up your precious time? Now imagine this. You run a small textile workshop in a suppose say tier 2 city and you have secured an order that could double your revenue. But to execute it, you need a lot of capital right now. You approach the bank, now slowly week pass, documents stall, approval drag, you lose the client. Now, what if you could submit your application online, get in principal approval in under say 1 hour? It may be not days, not weeks, just 59 minutes. Yeah, that's the promise of PSB loans in 59 minutes. A government backed tech-driven platform aiming to revolutionizing your MSME financing in India. Now, in this video, we will take you behind the scenes, how it works, who qualifies, the numbers, the challenges, and how you can leverage this if you are an MSME. Let me take you to a journey from the problem MSME have always faced to a guts of algorithm, to your real stories and to the future, how this could reshape a small business credit in India. So let's start. Now, to understand why the MSME 59-minute loan matters, we must first step back and see the challenges MSME has always faced in our country. MSMEs contribute nearly more than 30% of India's GDP, and they employ over 100 million of people. Yet, access to formal credit remains a major bottleneck for them. Banks are historically has always been risk averse. They demand collateral, manual checks, multiple verification. Even after a yes, disbursement could take multiple weeks. Yes, and this delays expansion, kills opportunities, and pushes many to shady lenders with so higher rates. Now the government recognized this. They have acknowledged this, and now in 2019, a portal called PSB Loans in 59minutes.com was launched by Government of India, backed by SIDBI and a consortium of public sector banks under the Department of Financial Services. Its goal was simple: in principal approval of MSME loans just within 59 minutes. Yes, within 59 minutes. Now, the idea was not just speed for its own sake, but it was to reduce friction, increase the transparency, and reduce, most importantly, human bias and democratize the access. Now, over time, the portal has grown. According to MSME dashboard, as of alone August 2024, 2,49,948 loans amounting to 86,820 crores have been processed under this scheme, and 2,30,064 loans for rupees 69,926 crores have been disbursed. But as with any ambitious scheme, the devil is in the details. That's what we will learn next. Let's start. Now, what is 59-minute loan? Now, let's zoom into exactly what it is, right? Its structure, partners, technology, and how it fits in the MSME financial ecosystem. Let's start with the portal and consortium model. Now, the portal is www.psbloansin59minutes.com. I will mention this in my description box. You can get it from there and directly go from there. Now, it is operated by a public limited company, that is Online PSB Loans Limited, in which SIDBI and major public sector banks are majority stakeholders. The model is that an MSME applies through the portal. There is a portal, 59 minutes, and MSME applies through the portal, and the system pulls its existing financial data like GST, IT returns, bank statement, and MCA data, and then it runs an algorithm, and this checks. Now, if the application meets their certain criteria guidelines, then the portal issues an in principle approval letter, that is within 59 minutes. Now, though the portal gives only in principle approval, but again, since there is always manual involved, the actual disbursement happens after further checks and bank validation. Typically, in you can say 7 to 8 working days. Normally, it is lesser than in normal. If you go to bank and apply and just wait for the hearing, bank has to close this file into 7 to 8 working days. Now, what the portal does and what it does not. Let's start that. It pulls data automatically. Yes, the system fetches your GST, ITR data, bank statements, and even you can say MJ21 wherever it is applicable. It can automatically fetch that, and no need for you to upload all your documents manually. Simply using a PAN card, maximum PAN card and Aadhaar card, maximum of your data is pulled back in the system. Now, next is algorithm decisioning. Now, the system applies rules set by member banks to either accept the application or reject it automatically for in principle sanction within 59 minutes. Now, there is no manual intervention, at least till the sanction stage. Up to the in principle approval, there's no human review or branch interaction. It is completely machine based and algorithm based. Now, you must know what it cannot do. It cannot bypass necessary bank compliances checks or KYC or final sanction, because KYC is the first guideline of any loan, so it cannot bypass this. Now, and also again, it does not guarantee you disbursement in 59 minutes. That part takes 2 days. It only guarantees you pre-sanctions only in 59 minutes. Now, if your data is missing, say it may be inconsistent or flagged, or there you have done any tax default, the algorithm will immediately reject it or hold your data. Okay. Now you will ask why this architecture matters. Because it offers speed and scalability. Automating reduces delays and bottlenecks. Means the data that is to be checked by a human, it may take another 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. It reduces that time, and it checks us with more accuracy and speed. Now, next, this architecture matters transparency and consistency. The same data and criteria are applied to all. There is no favorism or favoritism, so called. Okay. Data leverage. Since the portal integrates with several government and financial data sources like GST, ITR, Aadhaar card, etc., and some of the banks, much of the verification done behind the scenes. Now, this portal is one of the key innovation in MSME credit, and a shift from branch-centric lending to a tech-driven credit marketplace. Okay. Now, next we will discuss is eligibility, amount, interest, and terms. Okay. Let's start with the eligibility, amount, interest, and terms. So, what is the loan amount? Let's understand this. How much you can be financed, and what are the interest rates, for how much time period you will be given, and who qualifies. Right. Let's start. Loan amount and limits. Now, the loan amount allowed in this scheme, in this portal, it ranges from typically from 1 lakh to 5 crore as of now. This data is this. Okay. And this is for MSME and business loan. Now, for Mudra and smaller loans below 1 lakh, the portal also supports sometime, but through its integrated marketplace. Okay. Now, we will discuss interest rate and fees. Now, the interest rate generally starts at 8.5% per annum, just for eligible applicant. This is not for all, but actual rate will always depend on your credit worthiness, bank policy, and risk evaluation, because you need to choose a bank in which you are applying. Now, next is What is the processing fee charge? It is 0.1% to 6% of the sanction amount. Typically varies from banks to banks, and some banks also put completely a fixed charges, say 1000 plus GST, because this is a digital approval fee for minimal documentation approvals. Okay. Now, what is the tenure or repayment period? Tenure ranges for CC limit. It's mostly one year, but in some banks it's 2 years, and for term loan it goes from 1 year up till 15 years, depending on your nature of the loan. Okay. Now we will discuss eligibility criteria and what are the preconditions. To be eligible, your business must typically satisfy GST registration and compliance. This is the must and must. You must have a valid GST number. Next is your income tax ITR filing. Typically, at least last 2 to 3 year ITR must be filed. Bank statement, at least 6 month bank statement you need to provide to show your cash flows, and there should be no default. And background check, the system checks for defaults in credit history, tax default, and many more. Since everything is integrated, it can directly pull your data. You cannot lie to the system. Next is existing businesses and vintage. You should have an operational business, not a brand new. You cannot put a brand new system. You just say you have you have started a new venture and you have done all registration. You cannot directly apply for 59 minutes PSB loans in this. It should be functional. At least some financial history should be there. Okay. Now, algorithm thresholds. The portal's rules set minimum turnover, revenue ratios, and depending on the bank partners. Okay. You need to fulfill these criteria. Now, if any of this is missing or inconsistent, then your application will be rejected directly through the portal. Now, how many banks and multiple offers? The portal is a marketplace. Like you have seen, there's a market. We can talk about the sabji ke market. Basically, every stall is a bank or a fintech company. Okay, so the portal is just like a marketplace with multiple bank lending partners on board. Now, after the in principle section, you can receive multiple offers from different banks, so you can choose the best. Okay, now let's move further. Your application journey, step by step, I will be narrating here. Let's walk you through the complete application process from logging into final section. Now, with the backend logic and what you as an applicant are doing and what the system is doing, let's start. First option always comes registration or login. You need to go to PSB 59 minutes portal and then register using your name, email, and phone number. Then you can log in and choose for apply for loan. Okay, now you need to put your business and identity data capture. Enter your PAN card, Aadhaar card, business name, address, contact details. Next, you need to enter your GSTN number and your GST credential, that is your ID and password, because from there it will directly take you to the GST portal where you need to add your ID or password. Okay, ID and password. Then it will take you to ITR details, ITR portal, and you need to fetch your data from there, and it will take at least 2 to 3 years data. It will fetch directly from there. And at last, your business bank account number, and it will fetch your last 6 months statement directly from the portal. Okay, now one form and unified application. The portal offers a one form to capture all your business details in one go, like turnover, nature, partners, and many more things. Okay, you need to provide your details for your promoters, owners, directors, address, businesses, rentage, existing liabilities. You cannot hide anything. If the system catches if there is any default and your application is straightforward rejected, you need to sign some consent and declaration, that is accept, like agreeing to fetch your data from the government sources. Okay, and there is little declaration, not many. Now next is algorithm decision and in principle approval. Once your application is submitted, the portal system initiates the background data fetches. I told you it will take to you every portal and it will just perform a check. It will run a check. It will check what are the criteria different banks mention. It does it come in the revenue thresholds, debt ratios, like all ratios are within the guidelines or not. The banks already have provided their set guidelines. If default flags, it checks for predetermined bank policies. Basically, we can see that earlier, whatever a credit officer or credit manager was checking in a bank, a manual intervention was there that has been stopped, and the system through algorithm it automatically checks everything. Now, if you pass, portal issues you an in principle approval within 59 minutes. Okay, and if you don't pass, you may be rejected or flagged for manual review. Suppose if there are two options also. If you can be rejected, or sometimes since it is a system, manual intervention is allowed, and it will go back at the back end, and the bank's manual person, any credit officer, credit manager, they will keep the file and they will get back to you. Now thereafter you go for offer and bank selection. After everything is done, in principle approval is given, the system will show you offers from one or more banks with their terms and condition, like interest rate, tenures, processing fee, charges. Now it is up to you what bank you want to choose, what branch you want to prefer. Okay, now the last stage comes final sanction, verification, disbursement. Now the bank you selected, they will contact you for your KYC, which is the very must. You cannot divert the KYC, and for your final verification, and if there is any pending checks depending on the bank policies. You cannot refuse this just because you got us in principle approval here. Okay, after all verification are done, like your visits, unit visit, property visit, whatever it is, if it is done, then on successful verification, the bank sanctions to loan for permanently, and disbursement usually happen in hardly it takes 7 to 8 working days if everything is good. You need to note here that the 59 minutes is just strictly for the in principle approval part, not the financial disbursement, because after the principal approval there is a manual intervention and it takes a time. It usually takes 7 to 8 working days, but in comparison to regular banking, if you go directly to bank, and it takes much lesser of your time and much lesser of paper requirements, because already everything has been checked by the system and algo. Okay, now we will talk about challenges and reported issues. Many applicants get in principle approvals, but the final disbursement is delayed due to bank branch level red tape. Sometimes there are a simple logic, like sometimes month end closing, because I have been there, I understand that, and sometimes the current or regarding person is absent, or maybe maybe there is some issues with the system. There are at branch level there can be any issue. So this is a challenge, and this is reported maybe in the, I think with the AI in revolution so fast, I think in coming future this glitch will be also removed, and I think disbursement will be done directly through the system, at least for some level. You need not to go to the bank. Now some branches also resist or do not cooperate with portal sanction cases. This has been heard in long cases, although government is acting very fast for this, but still there are many cases in which branches resist and they do not cooperate the borrowers. Now if your data mismatches, suppose in your GST or in your ID or in your bank, mostly it happens GST and ID are same. Sometimes your GST portal address is different, your bank address is different, or maybe your since you have opened your bank account very old, there are sometimes a name mistakes, one A is missing, or in place of E, I is there. If there is any of this data mismatch, it causes automatic rejections. Now the model heavily favors MSMEs who have strong tax formal compliances, and again informal or new business struggle. I hope, but in the coming nearby future, This glitch is also removed and the system will work in more favorable way. Now let's talk about risk, caveats, critics and future scope. Right? Okay. No solution is perfect. Now let's examine this where this scheme may evolve. Okay, let's start with risk and caveats. Over reliance on algorithm. Now, if this is a positive, this is also a risk. Now, if thresholds of policies are too rigid, many viable business may get rejected, and these businesses almost get rejected many times due to over reliance on algorithm. Data dependency, any mismatch or lag in even government portal database like GST ITR, this directly harms the applicant. Next is bank level bottlenecks. Even after approval, branches may stall disbursement, and this happens many times. Quality over quantity. Quick approvals may lead to defaults if underwriting is loose. Yes. And now this inclusivity concern. I are very new entrepreneurs without financial history and do not get any benefit. Next is processing fees and hidden cost. Some applicants are surprised by the fees or the charges because on the portal they mention maybe sometimes it is old data, or in banks there are more charges like folio charges, inspection charges, visit charges, which applicants generally do not consider because they are not shown on the portal side. So applicants usually when they visit the bank and when they see charges, they get very surprised for this, and sometimes they are very upset by this. Now, transparency and appeal mechanism. If your application is rejected, is there recourse or manual review? You need to check for that. Now let's talk about critics and observed gaps. Now we have observed that many in principle approval do not convert to real disbursal, limiting the impact of this scheme. And the initial 1 crore gap is 1 crore cap is mentioned in many press releases because recently government has increased, but earlier it was 1 crore, which is maximum time raises doubt under the upper limit, especially as portal scales. And one more thing, the portal is effective only for those already in formal system. Those unregistered or informal are always left behind. I already told you that maybe your business is very good, but you are showing less taxes just to save some money on taxes. You are doing in cash business, and the system automatically rejects that because this is algorithm based. You cannot not manual based. You can see your face and read it. No, this system completely rely on the data and checks it with the bank's policies, and then only it can provide approval. Now we shall always hope for future, and let's talk about future and potential enhancement. It is expand integration with more banks and NBFCs. We hope already many banks and NBFC are integrated with this, but we are hopeful that many more will be integrated. Enhanced AI and ML for better decisioning and reduce false negatives, because AI is changing so rapidly. So we can expect this in a means nearly future, not long time will take. Now real time feedback, appeal mechanism for rejection. This is much more important. We can accept. Suppose you have applied 59 minutes, there can be some deadlines, and customers can check, borrowers can check their application in real time and provide them feedback. The bank means there can be a portal where you can comment. Bank asks for you some paper, you can directly in the portal only you can provide them, and on the real time you can check at what stage your application is, and if the application is rejected by the portal, there can be an appeal mechanism. Now extension to newer sectors. I hope in near future startups and even more informal MSMEs are included, and better interface, mobile app and localized support will do it very good. Right, now let's move further. Tips, best practices and mistakes to avoid. Let's start tips and best practices. If you plan to apply, Here are some key tips and pitfalls to avoid. Distilled from many applicants' experience. Let's start with tips and best practices. Ensure your GST and ITR compliance well ahead. Don't wait until deadline. Oh, I'll apply when I need the money. Please don't wait. Just check your GST and ITR data, your bank data. Even I will say, just check your name and addresses are matching everywhere. That is a must. And just ensure your GST and ITR are in compliance ways. They do not disagree to each other. Now maintain clean bank statement for at least 6 months. Avoid any frequent overdraft or unexplained cash movements or bounce checks, please. Now then you can double check all data, your PAN, GST, business name, partners. Even small inconsistency can kill your application. Do a pre-check, view your credit history, clear dues, and even correct your tax filings. Choose offers wisely. Don't just pick the lowest rate. Check your tenure, fees, and prepayment options. You can follow up promptly at branch level after in principal approval. Submit your KYC documents as quickly as possible. Document your communication with your bank portal in case of any dispute. This will be helpful for you. Now, what are the common mistakes we can avoid? Just uploading wrong or incomplete document. Please don't do that. It will straightforward lead to rejection. If you use your different business names, address across filings, I told you already, just ensure your ITR, GST, and Udyam and your bank data always matches correctly. Neglecting to pay earlier loans or having default flags. Please check your CIBIL time to time. I always say in every video. Delays in branch level follow-up. If you got a particular bank or branch, you can directly follow up from them. This will help to reduce the time only. Blindly accepting the highest loan amount without assessing your repayment capacity. Yes, system, if it has allowed you higher loan amount but you are not able to pay and you are accepting it, this mistake is need to be avoided so that you don't default in nearby future. Now let me answer the top FAQs I hear from day-to-day MSMEs. So, can startup apply? I said yes, but only if compliant with GST and ITRs. Now, is collateral needed? It depends on bank to bank, because maximum bank offer loans under CGTMSC. These are collateral free. You need to pay some CGTMSC fee, and you can avail this CGTMSC scheme, loan under CGTMSC scheme. Now, can I apply without GST? Very difficult. I don't think even it is possible, because GST is the backbone of this portal. Now, what if my CIBIL score is low? Approval chances fall, and you need to clear your old dues before even applying. And if you want to read more FAQs, I'll mention my website. You can directly check my blogs there. Now, let me wrap up quickly. The 59-minute MSME loan portal is an ambitious technology-enabled solution to one of India's toughest MSME problems. Access to fast credit. It leverages government data, algorithm, underwriting, and a marketplace model to deliver in principal sanction within less than an hour. But it's not without challenges. Branch payoffs, data mismatches, and inclusion gaps always remain there. Now, if you run an MSME, I encourage you go to this portal, PSB Loans in 59minutes.com. Check your eligibility, ensure your GST and ITRs are compliant and is solid, and consider applying even just to see what offers you might get. And even I will say, if you don't want to check offer, just you can go there just to check whether your data is matching on the all portals or not. At least when you need that, you need not to go through this struggle. Okay. If you like this video, please hit like, subscribe, and share if you with any entrepreneur you think he might benefit. And please drop your question in comments. I will answer them. Until next time, build smart and grow fast. Thank you.